All right, so I'm live. I don't expect anyone to come view me while I'm live, but I wanted to go ahead and get my recipe done and out the way. So today I'm coming to you, bringing you some creamy Creole red beans and rice. So I guess a little backstory since I'm live, I have time. First off, Happy New Year. I haven't been here all year or all last semester. You know, I'm a teacher, so I think in terms of semesters. But I am back. I look forward to coming back on my channel more often and giving you all some fun, quick recipes, right? So, my recipe for today, again, I'm doing the creamy Creole red beans and rice. So, I've been cooking this recipe for about 6 or 7 years, but I think I've finally gotten it down to the recipe I want to use for like ever, for like the rest of my life, right? So first off, with my ingredients, I have the Camilla red beans and rice. I don't know if you all can see that. I'm sorry I'm having to use my laptop today. This camera totally sucks, but bear with me. I had to watch a 10-year-old on YouTube to show me how to go live on YouTube. Okay. We live in the last days. Anyway, so these are Camilla. These are the red beans and rice that everyone in Louisiana swears by. Okay, so I actually got these fresh from Louisiana on yesterday, so I'm excited about using these. So my beans today for the meats that I do like to add meat to my beans. I'll be using this. I'll be using salt pork first. Probably about half or 3/4 of this. I won't use all of it, but I do like to get the drippings and everything that comes with using salt pork. I'll chop that up and saute it with my onions and garlic. But this is Amanda brand salt pork. I wanted you to see that brand because the sausage that I'm using today is also Amanda brand. It didn't have the name on it. It came like in a multi-pack. I took it out of somebody's freezer. Okay, I told you I was in Louisiana yesterday, so I kind of stole this. But it's their green onion sausage. Oh my gosh, y'all, this sausage is so good. I love it with the red beans. I've had it in the red beans. I've also had it by itself. I think in jambalaya that they made something with. So this is the green onion sausage that I'll be using. So I'll be chopping that up too. And of course, with any bean recipe, you'll be using your onion, and you'll also be using garlic. I'll probably be using about 4 of the bulbs of the garlic for this. Also, my seasonings. You know, I am a Adams season fanatic. I'm going to be using a little bit of the spicy bacon Adams seasoning for this recipe, as well as a few other just all-purpose recipes. Nothing too special. These are just different all-purpose spices. Now you have to be so careful, especially when you're making your red beans with the salt pork. You know that already has a lot of sodium in it. And of course, I'm on my weight kick. Last semester I was down about 15 more pounds, so I'm excited about that. But this semester I do plan to continue to lose more weight and also provide you all more healthy recipes. This recipe I wouldn't necessarily say is unhealthy. However, you can make it more healthy if you would like. You can definitely omit the salt pork. I've made these red beans before with really no meat. If you want to use like a beef broth or something like that to give it a meaty flavor, you can. But today, this is a snow day. We're putting meat in these beans today. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. I'll just be talking while I'm chopping up my veggies. And again, these Camilla beans, I've used these quite a few times. Actually, when we went to go buy them on yesterday while I was in Baton Rouge, so I was going in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans. We went to New Orleans once when we were going back around, Baton Rouge. A lot of people were sold out of the Camilla red beans. And we know that these are really just red kidney beans. But for whatever reason, that brand cooks so nice. The beans are so smooth, and it brings about a really creamy consistency. So overnight, I did soak my red beans. I soaked them in some water. So they've been soaking for hours. These are my soaking beans here. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. Yeah, I want to get my laptop wet. Can't do that one for the team. But my beans have already been soaking. So I'm just going to go ahead and pour them into the strainer now. And I'm just going to rinse them. I had already rinsed the beans out on yesterday. before I soak them. And I also have in here a bay leaf. Now I did learn that trick when I was in Baton Rouge on yesterday, by putting a bay leaf in there while the beans are soaking. So hopefully that'll kind of have a better, I'll be able to have a better result with my beans, but I'm thinking it's just going to add a little bit more flavor than I usually get. But this recipe, again, I've used it for years. I've kind of tweaked it just a little bit. I've made it a few ways. I've used turkey before. I've used no meat. I've used a smoked turkey. These are my rinse beans. So this is a pound of a soaked beans. So they've soaked overnight. A pound of the Camilla red beans. I'm just going to set these to the side. To put in there before I go ahead and pour in the beans, because they say for 1 pound of beans, you're supposed to use about 8 to 10 cups of water. So since I'm using 1 pound of the Camilla beans, I'll be doing 8 to 10 cups of water. From there, now I'm going to go ahead and start chopping up my veggies. It won't take me long to do those. I was talking to someone over the weekend, and he was sharing with me that I would probably enjoy, because I was saying how I hated like chopping up veggies, like to put in my stuff. I'd rather either buy them already pre-chopped, but we know that costs more money. Like for 2 cups of pre-chopped onions, that's like $3. No, when you can buy an onion for like 20 cents. And he was saying, well, maybe you need to get a better knife. I think you would enjoy cutting your vegetables more. I'm like, yeah, I guess that makes sense, but Santa Claus didn't bring me a knife set this year. So I'm gonna go with what I got. So I'm gonna go ahead and chop up my my onions. I know my family, they don't really like a lot of onions in their food. So I'm gonna make sure that I chop them like really, really fine. I know you can't see me chopping it. I'll see if I can kind of bring it down a little bit. Oh, okay. So I'm gonna make sure that I chop it like really fine. Because they're not a chunky onion eating family. So gonna chop my onions real small so we can get those into the pan. And as I'm chopping them, I'm gonna go ahead and just put them in my, put them to the side, because it's gonna be for the skillet. Because in my skillet, I'm gonna put the onion as well as those 4 bulbs of garlic. So that shouldn't take long at all. Again, if my knife were a lot better, I think I would enjoy cutting it. I think he was right. He was right. So speaking of red beans, so growing up, I'm a Texas girl, right? Originally from San Antonio, we lived there for 10 years, and then we moved into Austin, where we lived for 10 years. Well, Austin, then into Round Rock, which is outside of Austin. But I lived most of my adult life in Houston. So I say all that to say, like growing up, it was San Antonio had like a heavy Spanish influence. So I grew up eating. I thought breakfast tacos were like what everybody ate for breakfast. It wasn't until like my like college years I realized I really do have a heavy like Spanish background when it comes to food. And I say that to say, growing up, my mother I don't recall my mother ever making red beans. I'm just chopping now. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get my garlic. I don't recall her ever making red beans from scratch. When we wanted red beans, we ate red beans from Popeye's chicken. So that was my only, that's like my only reference to red beans and rice growing up was from Popeye's. That wasn't something that we ate or my mother cooked. But my mom did cook, those onions are strong. My mom really, we were from San Antonio, moved into Austin, but my mother was really big on making pinto beans, right? So now she made chili beans all the time. We had chili beans when it was like a cold day like this. So it's a snow day here in Texas. A snow day like this, we would have like some chili beans going. So that's really just basically pinto beans with the meat thrown in there. I've seen chili beans with like turkey. I've seen chili beans with ground beef, all that. So my mother, I grew up doing chili beans. So in college, that became one of my staple foods too. Like, but I kind of took like a shortcut. Here we have a brand of beans called ranch style beans. which is just like a pinto bean in a heavy like tomato base, I guess, sauce, maybe gravy. But anyway, too with on my as far as like one of my healthy go-to meal preps for like my lunch. And again, that's just like pinto beans with like taco meat, ground taco meat, seasoned with taco seasoning. And you know, taco seasoning is nothing but cumin and like your all-purpose seasonings. But anyway, right here I am doing my garlic cloves. And again, I was telling my friend, I was like, look, I do not like chopping garlic. But again, he insisted that if I had a better knife, I would probably enjoy doing it more. So again, that would be nice to get another knife, a knife set. But Santa did not bring me that for Christmas. Anyhow, I'm chopping up my garlic, doing that real quick, because next I'm going to go ahead and get to the meat, which is the fun part. So it's always been like a, as I've made like red beans and being around people who've made them in the kitchen, it's always been like, I want to call it a debate, but it's like, is red beans and rice an entree or is it a side? So of course, me, I always thought red beans and rice was a side, because you go to Popeyes, you get a 2-piece, 3-piece, or whatever, and you get a side of red beans and rice. But apparently, some people they eat red beans as like the actual meal. Like there's nothing extra to it. But I guess I kind of see why, because of all the meat that I'm about to put into mine. That makes sense, you know? So for like when I first started cooking red beans on my own, I used to make it and then I would like fry like some chicken wings or something like that on the side. But now that I'm adding like more meat to it and I'm cutting up, you know, the salt pork and the different sausages, I don't even make it. The kids now will eat it, a bowl of it, and eat it as the actual entree. So yeah. But I can understand why some people would think that red beans could be a side dish. Because again, when you go to Popeyes, it's a side dish. And I'm just rinsing off my cutting board because and start on this salt pork. I'll kind of move the camera down some so y'all can see. So I've already cut up my my onions and my garlic. I'm just gonna pan it down so y'all can see here. So I've already cut up my onions and my garlic. That's my onions and garlic in there. So that was one whole onion and about 4 bulbs of garlic. Now I'm getting to my to the salt pork. And again, I really started cooking more at home when I started eating healthier. I was talking to my best friend this morning, and she and I were just discussing pregnancy. And I was telling her how if she remembered how when I was pregnant with my son, on eating clean. So that's when I really started like cooking every day for my family. Prior to that, cooking every day wasn't something that I did. I worked most of the time 2 jobs. So I was probably teaching at the time when my daughter was born. I was teaching at 2 different colleges. So I didn't cook every day. It was a lot of fast food. It was a lot of see, hold on, wait a minute. This is what he was talking about with his knife. Okay. I'm gonna try my other knife. Hold on. This one might be a little better. I want a better knife, but anyway, this salt pork. But yeah, so when it came to cooking every day, that wasn't something that I did. When I first, you know, got into cooking, that I'm more health conscious, and I want to cook more. Now, last semester, which is why I didn't do a lot of videos, I ended up started back doing 2 positions again. I was teaching full time and working as a site leader for my district. So a lot of the meals that my kids ate, unfortunately, I did not cook. And it wasn't fast food. My sister actually went ahead and filled in that gap, and I appreciate her for that. But this semester, I want to make sure that I'm more in control of, the kitchen. Now, I was able to kind of not gain weight this semester, and that's a good thing. I actually lost about 15 to 20 pounds over the semester. But it could have definitely been more had I been more deliberate about, about cooking. My meal preps, they weren't as, look at me having to switch knives. I need a better knife set. If Rachel Ray is watching, she should probably like send me one. She's not watching because but I think I'm getting to that tougher part of the salt pork. And I was telling my friend over the weekend, I was like, look, this is why I don't even like cooking with the salt pork, because it was so hard for me to cut. But I promise it was not this hard when I saw it being cut over the weekend. Oh, speaking of the weekend, anybody see that game? Yeah, that I don't even want to really don't even want to bring it up, but I'm struggling here. I'm really about to become a vegetarian, just say forget the pork, because this pork should not taste. Oh, I think I got to that. And you know what? I'm blaming it on the knife, but I think it's because I got to that tough part of the salt pork. Like the rind of the bacon, I guess. I don't know, but this is getting on my nerves already. Let's get to the sausage. But I'm gonna cut one more piece off, and then I'm gonna go ahead and dice it from here. But yeah, that New Orleans Saints game was something else. But the watch party that we went to, the young lady that cooked it, that hosted the party at their house, those red beans were amazing. And they cooked it the same way that I've seen it cooked before. So I'm excited about that. So I'll go ahead and put this to the side. OMG. That's my salt pork sliced up. Now you can slice it or you can dice it. I'm gonna go ahead and just slice it today because I am not about to play with this salt pork. It is making me mad. But I'm gonna rinse out my knives over here, because now we're about to get to the yummy part. Now this I am a lover of sausage. Do I cook with it a lot? Not really. And the only sausage that I really cook with is andouille sausage. But I was schooled again from a Louisianian that that's not the only sausage that you can put in red beans. So after tasting some of theirs that they made, it was really good. So I was like, oh, that's how I ended up taking that ring of that green onion sausage. And again, that's the Manda brand green onion sausage. That's what I'm going to be using in mine today. And I'm going to actually use the whole ring because, again, I'm making this as a red beans and rice entree. So more than likely, I'm not making like a whole meat dish on the side for the kids to eat. I'm not doing that. But yeah, when it comes to, we had a discussion yesterday talking about cooking and whether or not certain things were considered to be Cajun or Creole. Because in my head, I don't know if it's just because I'm from Texas and I really didn't, I didn't have any close family members growing up. I didn't have any close family members growing up from Louisiana. So most of my experiences for Louisiana happened as an adult. And so to me, Creole and Cajun were the same, but I was definitely put in my place on yesterday. And I learned that Creole and Cajun were different. I think we got in that conversation because I had stopped at a meat market And I was saying how the boudin was really good. And he was saying, well, the boudin is not necessarily a Creole thing. I was like, oh. He was like, well, that's more Cajun. Like, oh, excuse me. But anyway, I'm just chopping. This sausage smells delicious. So this is a green onion sausage. So it's pork, beef, and it has like these specks of green onion. And I love green onion. So I'm so excited about using this in my red beans today. I'm actually going to put it on I'm going to go put the skillet on now and add a little bit of olive oil, not a lot, because again, I'm using the salt pork. And with the salt pork, it'll have, it'll add, you know, some, it'll add its own, you know, own grease or its own oil. So that's going to be awesome. So this is my sausage. I don't know if you can see, you probably can't, this camera sucks, but you can, there is some green onion in the sausage pieces. You can't even see it. Well, there goes one. Anyway, there's green onion there. What I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna put the, and remember that's my onions and garlic here. And then I have my salt pork. So my ingredients again, the Camilla beans, I used 1 pound of Camilla beans. I used about half of a package of salt pork and I just sliced it like that. And I'm just gonna skillet fry that in the skillet first. And I'm gonna go ahead and put it now in my skillet right here. After I get that skillet fried, I'm then gonna add my onion and garlic. And then from there, I'm gonna add my sausage. I'm gonna see if I can stop the recording so that I can get that going, or if there's a way to pause it. So give me a second. Let's see.